sundowners, flame burning bright in the evening. Karibu sana, Kate.
Thank you very much, Christopher. I hope you can hear me.
Yeah.
Okay, thank you. Good morning, members of APB. This morning, I am delighted, like those who've spoken before me, to be here and to introduce our third and I think the last speaker, Angela Gachigua, who is a sales manager at Jubilee Insurance. Angela is a holder of Diploma in Business Management from the Kenya Institute of Management and an undergraduate in Marketing and Leadership at Management University of Africa, and also pursuing a diploma in insurance at the College of Insurance. Now, also remember that after her presentation, members will be welcome to ask quick questions to which she will respond accordingly. Now, the issue at hand is that many workers in Kenya today retire after many years of service in different organizations to what is ironically more difficulties instead of luxury. It so happens that at retirement, that's when we are in most need, and quite a number of our APB members are retired. Now, a lot of times when we hear the word benevolence, we think final respect, we think death, or something that happens after life. Now, besides the APB mission of promoting excellence in broadcast journalism by providing a forum for networking, exchanging skills and knowledge, there is the very big issue of concern, the well-being of our members, good health, financial ability, etc., etc. Thankfully, you are here to talk to us about group benevolent insurance cover. And I'm sure this is a part of the conference that most of us have been waiting for with bated breath. When you talk about benevolent fund, what exactly are you telling us, since most of us want to hear stories of right here, right now, and not life after here? Karibu sana, our speaker. I don't know if you're ready. Angela Gachigua. Angela Gachigua, we are waiting for you. Maybe Oyer on the other side, you can help us with bringing Angela on.
Good morning, Catherine. From my side, she's, we might have to call her separately because she's unmuted. Her camera is there, but we can't see her.
Could you Paul, give Abdullahi a chance to speak as we wait for Angela to come on board?
But somebody can call her. Chair. Somebody can be calling her to check.
Thank you very much. Have you given me the chance, Chair?
Yes, Mzee, please go ahead.
Yeah, I would just first of all like to congratulate the APC leadership, Chair, and the others for organizing this meeting today. I'm very much impressed. I'm not that media savvy, digital savvy, but I'm really impressed. And I'm also impressed with the ideas which have been given. As a veteran, maybe somebody who worked in Voice of Kenya in the 60s and today, and who has had some little exposure overseas, my expectation, my dream about APC has always been twofold. Something which is styled along the BBC. And it is this. This is what should be our ambition, what we should aim for eventually. Every country, democratic country, requires an independent voice. which is not connected to any political party, to the government of the day, to any religious organization, which is totally independent. Now, how did the British try to achieve that? And I think that is quite impressive. They don't want to be dominated or colonized or to receive propaganda from so-called media, which are actually propaganda outlets, either commercial, religious, political, whatever. What they have done is that they have made an independent board of directors. That independent board of directors is what the BBC is. These are eminent men and women of that country who sit in a board, 10 of them and a chairman. That is called the board. So the first step to do for the national broadcaster is to link this station from the government of the day or whoever, political party or whatever. That's point one, number one. Point number two, you do require funding. So where do you get the funding from? The BBC is funded by a license fee, compulsory money, which is paid by every television owner in every home. When I started off with the Voice of Kenya, we had some sort of a license fee. Television was not that popular, was not available to everybody, but every radio set had to pay a license, an annual license. That money is supposed to go directly to the national broadcaster. Now, what I'm telling you now here is a dream. Otherwise, we'll continue to become beggars. People will continue to be underpaid. All these ambitious projects won't be there. People who want to become journalists will have no place to go and practice their journalism. So our aspiration and aim is to have an independent broadcasting station, right? Both radio, television, and the other media services which are available through digital now. That should be our aspiration. Training, there is no, these things will come. Once you have got an independent station and you've got an independent board of directors and their chairman of independent people, right? The people like the ones who wrote the Constitution, yeah? People like Mtunga, we have got people around who are independent-minded. Some of them are even within the media fraternity. Now, once you get such people in a board and they are completely independent and they have got a very strong backbone, they are not people who are going to be pushed around by the government of the day, that would be a very good start. I'm telling you, as I started from the beginning and I'll end right now, is that that is a dream. That's how the future should be like. Otherwise, I don't know, bandages. This is what we will be doing. We'll be begging the government of the day. We will continue to underpay those all hardworking people at KBC who are suffering. They won't be able to have a pension plan of their own. They won't have a retirement plan, which can be within the institution itself. And this is what actually happens to people like the BBC. A public broadcaster is an achievement and it requires a lot of work. APB could be the starter to try and...
Thank you. Thank you very much, Mohammed Abdullahi, for those very enlightening sentiments and remarks. I understand now our speaker is ready. Angela, I had introduced you earlier on, but you were nowhere. Perhaps I should introduce myself to you. I am Catherine Ndonye from KBC. I am a radio producer and presenter. And so I had introduced you here at APB conference to speak to us about benevolence. And like I said, it is one of our greatest concerns at APB because most of our members are retired. And at retirement, that is when we need good health, we need financial stability, we need all the support we can find. But when we hear the word benevolence, a lot of times we think about the last respect and life after here. So maybe you can come in and demystify what this group benevolent insurance cover could be and how it will support our members as APB. Take the floor, Angela.
Okay, thank you, Catherine. I don't know if I'm audible enough now.
You are, but there's a bit of echo. Yeah, there's echo.
I think Catherine, she's having two gadgets on, eh? She's having two gadgets. Either switch off the phone or the laptop.
There's feedback. It's feedback from
yes,
one of the gadgets.
Meanwhile, I can see there's a hand up. Okay. Angela, you're back?
She's back.
Fantastic. Over to you, Catherine.
Okay, Angela, we've seen you. Are you ready now?
Angela, your audio isn't working.
Maybe she switched off the gadget that she's using.
With your permission, Catherine, could we hear from your namesake, Catherine, who's had her hand up as Angela sorts out her
Catherine
audio.
Mohatia, you could say what you could quickly say what you wanted to contribute.
Catherine, I think your mic is off.
Thank you. I wanted to contribute.
Your mic is off,
Put it on
Catherine.
again. Yeah.
Unmute.
I have someone. The host is muting. I think now is okay.
You're on now. Yeah.
Yeah. Thank you very much. My name is Catherine Mohatia. I wish to contribute to what Esther had presented on the mentorship program, and probably where I feel that there's a lot of challenge is in the media houses themselves, because that is where the change needs to start. Even at the university level, as we train the students and other institutions of learning, it is important that when we send them out, they find the right thing happening or things happening in these media houses. For example, if you're a news anchor, they will find you presenting that news. So how are you dressed? There are some things that will not change. Yes, we are revising our curriculums, but there are some basics that I think if you ask Abdullahi, the likes of Abdullahi and others who are there before us, they will tell you that there are things you can say on air, there are things you cannot say on air. So we're not going to revise that. That remains. How do you dress when you're presenting news? So I think the real change needs to start at the media, with the media houses. And that is where our focus should be, so that when these young people join the industry, then they're able to find the right things happening in those media houses. And from there, then it's very easy to pick it up. You know how challenging it is as a young person for some of us who joined and found people who mentored us. We found the right things happening. So if you find the wrong thing happening, they will not give you an opportunity to make the changes. So our concern should be with the broadcasting stations. What is happening in those houses, And then that then is able to help the young people, just join in seamlessly without any problems. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Catherine, for that contribution. I don't know whether Angela is now ready or here from your end.
I think what Angela should do, if she's having any challenge with the maybe wanting to have those two gadgets with microphones on at the same time, she should separate them. Let them be at a reasonable distance and make sure that they are not close to one another to create that feedback. I think that can also help. I don't know. Maybe she's having a challenge with one of the gadgets.
No, I am on. Can you hear me?
On?
Yes,
yes,
I can hear you now. Yes.
I'm sorry about that. I think it was an issue with my laptop, which is not audible enough. So I'm using my phone, which will be sufficient. So good morning, everybody, and my apologies for that. I'm honored to be part of the meeting. Thank you for that, and thank you for the invite. And I'm also loving that the sanity that APB is going to bring. And I remember with a lot of nostalgia when I was a young girl, when you were on a Sunday, we would sit down and listen to music time, which will not get scared of anything coming that is really not PG. And for the fact that you people are thinking about that APB, that's quite brilliant. And it's something that is beautiful and something that at least will bring sanity to the broadcasting industry. For me, as I've been introduced, I'm Angela from Jubilee Insurance. I'm a sales manager. And Catherine has asked a question. I've been on, I think it's an issue with the gadget, that what exactly is a benevolent fund? And always people will always think of a last respect. I had prepared a presentation, but because of the issue of the gadgets, I'm unable to share with you, but I will be able to highlight everything. And I think it will be as simple and very clear. So basically the benevolent fund, which is an aspect that APB is interested in due to welfare issues. For Jubilee Insurance, we have a unique benevolent fund, which caters for the people who are going to be, assuming, be left or the bereaved, whereby there's at least money that is left to the family and also money that is enough for a decent send-off. And we look at a point when people lose relatives or you lose a loved one, and people will usually look at where can we get the money. But with the benevolent fund, you are spared of the embarrassment of going to look for money, opening WhatsApp groups. So it's something that at least instead of relying on friends and family, you are at least able to put the money and transfer the risk for a final expense program. And that is usually something that we are able to do. And apart from that, what we have on offer as a benevolent fund at Jubilee Insurance is a cover that caters for 12 people. And when I mean a 12 people plan is that depending with what APB will find suitable, is that it will cover the policy owner who can be a husband or a spouse, will cover a wife, will cover children up to 6 children, and will also cover parents on both sides. What I'm talking about is parents of, maybe assuming it's Angela, me, my parents are covered, and also my parents of my husband, my in-laws are also covered. And that's something that is quite unique because it is up to APB to decide where do they want the scope of the benevolent fund to extend to. So that is something that is open, where a family of 12 is covered, and the entry age is 18 years to 65 years, and it also covers children who are from 1 year to 18 years. And assuming you might have children who are up and above 25 years are in school, those are also covered, provided you have proof that they are in school. Something else that is also very unique about the benevolent fund is that it's covering the cost of the funeral expenses. It is also covering the cash for refreshments during the funeral service. And it also covers costs for grocery and small debts for the remaining family, up to a maximum of 6 months. Something also that is included is that expenses that are incurred in the event of the client or the policy owner being admitted in hospital, that is catered for with a cash payout of an amount from 1,000 to 5,000, depending with the cover that you will have taken. So in our Benevolent Fund is divided into 5 categories. We have the Kifaru, which covers a Benevolent Fund up to a maximum of 50,000. We have Chui, which covers a Benevolent Fund of 100,000. We have Nyati, which covers up to a Benevolent Fund of 150,000. We have Ndovu covering up to 200,000. And we have Simba, which covers up to 250. So what I mean with these amounts is that that is the amount of the Benevolent Fund. And because we also have the young children, when we are talking about our smallest Benevolent Fund, which is Kifaru, which covers 50,000 for an adult, the child is covered for an amount of 25,000. In Chui, the child is covered up to a Benevolent Fund of 50. In Nyati, the child is covered up to 75,000. The Ndovu is 100 and Simba is 25. That is for the child because you're also catering for the child. So as I've said earlier, is that it's APB to decide, do they want to just cover the membership or do they also want to cover the spouse and the children of the members? So that is according to APB what they will find suitable. Yeah. Then when we come to the refreshments are also divided according to the scope of the Benevolent Fund. And these are refreshments that the money is given to the family of the deceased to assist them in the funeral arrangements and also the funeral refreshments during the funeral. So for Kifaru, which is our Benevolent Fund of 50,000, has no refreshments. So refreshments start up to Chui, which is refreshments catered for up to an amount of 10,000. Nyati covers refreshments up to 20,000. Ndovu covers up to refreshments of 30,000 and Simba 40,000. Yeah. Then we also have the shopping allowance, which I had told you about, shopping allowance and small debts, whereby the family is given some amount of money for 6 months. And this is basically to just sustain them through as they are healing and also to just as a cushion to in terms of the small grocery costs that may be incurred in the house. Probably visitors are coming to visit, to offer their condolences. So the monthly shopping allowances, Kifaru, there's no shopping allowance. So shopping allowance starts from Chui. And for Chui, that one gives a shopping allowance of 2,500 for 6 months. So the family is catered for that, spend it for 6 months. Then we have Nyati, which is a Benevolent Fund of 150. The shopping allowance that is given is 5,000. Ndovu, which is a Benevolent Fund of 200,000, gives a shopping voucher of 7,500. And Ndovu gives a shopping money or voucher up to an amount of 10,000. And remember, it's up to 6 months. Yeah. Then I also talked about hospitalization. In the event any of the members is hospitalized, up to 14 days, 4 days after hospitalization, there's also money that is given as an hospitalization cash and is given on a daily basis of from the 4th day of admission. So from the 4th day, Kifaru also has nothing for the hospitalization cash. We have for Chui, we have 1,000 that is given on a daily basis. We have Nyati that gives 2,000, Ndovu 3,000, and Simba 4,000. So that is a cash payout that is given in the event of the client being hospitalized for from the 4th day in hospital. So also something that you also need to also come to your attention is that the APB can decide, do they want to be doing through a standing order the payments, or however they want to do, or is it an M-Pesa, or is it a standing order? And the mode of payment that is allowed is that the covers is paid per year to be able to accommodate, to be able to take care of the family for 1 year, then renew on the following year. So that is something that is also important to note. Then the application process is very easy. So it's just a simple form. The normal documentation, an ID copy will be required, birth certificates for the children will be required. Those are the documents that are required for the application of the policy. Then in terms of the claim process, after how long does a family get the benevolent fund? That is within 48 working hours. So this is money that can be used for the funeral expenses. And after the 48 hours, the money is disbursed, and now the family or APB is able to disperse the money. The workings of how the money will reach the family, that is upon APB. But basically, it's that simple. Nothing more than what I'm telling you. So it's that simple. It's a very simple cover to have and a very important one. So for me, unless there's any question that you need to ask, for me, that's how the Benevolent Fund at Jubilee Insurance works.
Thank you very much, Angela Gachigua. Yes, members will be asking questions. I believe they've heard you. You've given an overview of what Jubilee Insurance gives or offers for group benevolent insurance. And before we take more questions, I understand Topi Liambila wants to, I don't know whether it's a comment or a question. Topi, if you're online, you can come in just before we take questions for Angela.
Oh, hi, thank you very much, Catherine. This was actually meant to have come in between before Angela's presentation, because mine was mainly on the aspect of mentorship. Well, I'm Topi Liambila, I'm a veteran of KBC KTN. I had stints at the BBC London and Vox Africa. Right now, I'm the Honorable Secretary of the APB and a really passionate member of the group and hoping for the best. I think I'd like to appreciate, of course, I did a very good contribution right from morning, and I hope that everybody has been listening to them, because all the speakers have been fantastic right from the beginning. Now, mine was actually to touch on mentorship. Dr. Mtua mentioned something about the APB Institute, and it was something that fine, that was in line with something that I've been working on and something that has been like my dream, and that is starting a school. And it's not just an ordinary school, but the school was supposed to be for a kind of like a media school of finishing. Now, a media school of finishing, the idea was to have, for instance, the colleges do a great job, but we must also appreciate the fact that, not every university or college has the capacity to equip the students with everything they need. So a media school of finishing, if that is taken up by APB, then it means that, we shall set up to kind of like prepare the students, the media students who are coming from university, or even the current practitioners, the professionals who are still in the trade, to update them with tailor courses to be able to help them to get to hit the ground running, so to speak, especially for the students who come from university colleges. Some of them, when they are hired, for instance, they cannot be able to take up the job immediately. And we believe that, if we do something like a media school of finishing, then it will mean that, from university, just like what they do at law school, we have like, with the lawyers, after university, they go to the Kenya School of Law before they can be accepted, to the bar. Now, if we set up a media school of finishing, then this is also in line, because like I saw what Dr. Kingori was saying about the collaboration with the APB and the university colleges. That's a fantastic idea. But the idea is that after these students leave, before they join the mainstream media or whatever they want to do, they can attend tailor courses at the Media School of Finishing run by APB, which can be able to prepare them to hit the ground running. So much appreciation, of course, Dr. Kingori, Dr. Chris, Lisa for bringing Kingori, and all the presenters that have been honored. Obachi, Mariam, Abdul Haq, all of them have been, and Bogwa, they have all been very fantastic. It's not I'm not trying to pass a vote of, thanks, but what I'm just trying, I think we are on the right course, APB members, and those of you who have not registered, please do, because we are actually on a roll. Thank you very much.
Asante sana, Honorable Secretary Topi Liambila, for that contribution. Now we go back to our speaker, Angela Gachigua, who just spoken about the group Benevolent insurance cover from Jubilee Insurance. So we
I have a question.
Yes.
I have a question.
Uncle, go ahead.
Thank you very much, Catherine. My name is Fred Machoka. I'm above 65. And from what you have said, you got insurance cover that covers people up to 65. Now, why the discrimination? And it's not just Jubilee Insurance, it's the entire insurance industry. I thought that APB, when we're talking benevolence, we are not talking like Catherine said about the last respects, but we are talking about a comfortable living of senior citizens who are not necessarily working at the moment, but broadcasters who are above even 70, even above 80. Mzee Leonard Mambo Mbotela, Mzee Mohammed Abdullah, and other senior citizens who are, not necessarily having even children who are below 18 years. I thought that there would be a medical cover that, takes care of these senior citizens. If the insurance industry ostracizes these people from getting medical cover, then who is going to take care of these people? I think I need help here.
Thank you, Uncle. Yeah, I think you've asked that question on behalf of very many of us. Angela, you could answer that?
Yes, I can answer that, Catherine. It's a great concern, but what I meant by the entry age is that Obachi can qualify because he's 65. What I mean by entry is at what time are you entering, not the time you are exiting the plan. So it is anyone from 65 or from 18 to 65, they can enter into the benevolent fund. But it doesn't mean that if you're 70 or 75, you can't. You can enter from when you're from 18 to 65 and also to a maximum age of 75. It's the entry when you're getting into a benevolent fund, when you're signing up for the benevolent fund. It's taking care of people from 18 years. 18 years is because at 18 somebody has some contracting rights, and 65, now that's when you can get into, but it does not exclude anyone with 65 because we will cover up to when you're 80 years. Then he's also mentioned about the medical cover. A medical cover, we'll talk about it when we are given an opportunity, but this is benevolent. So the medical cover, Jubilee also caters for the seniors. We call them the seniors. So even if you're 65, do not be worried, you will be covered into a medical cover. But for the benevolent cover, I mean that a fund can be set for you even when you are as old as 65 years. That's what I meant, yeah? The entry age. I don't know if I'm clear for Obachi.
Uncle?
Have I answered his
question? No, you are not clear. You're saying you can yes. only enter up to 65. Now, I'm above 65. I want to enter. Mama Adija Ali is above 65. She will want to have a medical cover. What happens then?
So for 65, you are allowed to get in to when you're 80 years, up to when you're 80 years. That's for the benevolent fund. For the medical, which is different from what I'm taking you through, even at 65, even as old as when you're 60, you are allowed up to when now you're not with us, provided you've gotten into the cover at that age. So it does not exclude the old. Am I clear? Am I clear?
I think you're
no,
clear, but
you are
you're
not
very
clear. Can a 70-year-old, can a 75-year-old person join? Open a medical cover with you? If APB today said we have people of all ages from 20 years to 80 years or above, whom we want to register for a medical cover, are you going to say this one is too old, or are you going to say all these people are qualified to be to have a medical cover with you? And you don't have to feel hard pressed to say yes because it is convenient, but is it possible that you can take an 80-year-old person today and accept their medical cover? That is my question, and please be clear with it.
I think to add on Uncle Fred, what he's asking, he actually wants it to be so simple and clear. If these people are allowed to join, tell us the conditions, the terms, so that it's clear from the onset that you are admitting from this to this age, but if you are this age to this age, you'll come in with these conditions. That's all he's asking. Because sometimes we have had engagements with this kind of insurance companies, but when now we say we are engaging, this one could not come in because of that and that, just be clear from the onset. That's what we want to know.
Okay. I think
we are
okay. I get what you mean. Right now, what I'm discussing is the benevolent fund, which, as I will also discuss about the medical. The benevolent fund, somebody who is 60, somebody who is 70 can get into it. And for the medical cover, which I have not now discussed, but it's something that I can discuss because I'm in the industry, somebody can be able to get even when they are old as 75, 76 years to 80 years. And the conditions that are, if now I'm talking about the medical cover, is that the person will just need to go for medical tests, just that at their own cost. But what I wouldn't want is to mix between the benevolent fund and the medical. It will really mix up the whole thing. Yes.
Let me just intervene. I think, yes, you were here to talk about the group benevolent insurance cover. However, what is coming out right now very clearly is that the medical cover is very close to the hearts of members specifically of this organization. And maybe we can have another session with you just to talk about the medical, because like Uncle Fred asked, a lot of them, they are the fathers and mothers of this industry in this country. They are not spring chicken. They are advanced in age. Medical cover is very important to them. And my question actually would be, if APB came as a group and not individuals, as a group, is it possible then to negotiate for a special group medical cover of these people? Because they will need it. These guys are seniors. We are also heading there. And like Uncle said, the insurance companies have been very discriminative of older people.
Catherine?
Yes.
Catherine?
Yes, I can hear you, Auntie.
Yeah, may I add to Bachi's question? At our age, you go ask for insurance and you are put to so many tests. They'll try to test you from your hair on your head to the nail on your toes. And every part of you is recorded. They say this part you'll pay this much, this part we cannot allow you. They really insult the old people when you go for insurance. And then, is there a difference? You pay more when you're older, or should you pay less when you're older? What is the difference now? And why do they insist on examining so much of our entire body? Thank you.
Thank you very much, Auntie Elizabeth. That is Elizabeth Omolo. And Angela, you can see the experiences that our members have gone through, and that is why the big concern about this issue of medical cover.
Okay, so if I'm to get to answering if APB is to consider the age that is, we will take anyone up to the age of 76 years, and 76 years will have them on cover till when they are 80. That's for the medical
what is the maximum?
cover.
What is the maximum
Maximum
age?
is 80 years. 80 years. Yes, we have a seniors cover, and we were able to look.
Thank you very much, Angela. I don't know whether there are any more questions, because we are past our time for the meeting. It's already past noon. So do we have any other question?
Yes, thank you very much, Angela, for that insight. Maybe just a clarification on the turnaround time from the time a person needs your facilitation to the time you actually facilitate, because sometimes people who are insurance covered, they get frustrated when you need the assistance. You cannot reach out to the insurance, or the insurance, they take too long for the turnaround time. Could you kindly speak on that, and whether APB will have maybe a contact person to assist our members so that they don't get frustrated?
Okay. So for us as a company, we'll if you people are to engage, we will give you a salesperson, and I think he's also listening here. A person will be able to service a person. If you're going to hospital thinking of the medical cover, he will be on call. Somebody who, if you have issues that you need to be followed with, you will not, no representative of APB will need to come to our offices. So you will have an agent or what should I say, or a service person who will be able to take care of the entire account of APB. Somebody who you can call at any time. Somebody who, even if you want to go to hospital, you are free to talk to. And also the other beauty, and I'm not just talking because I'm in Jubilee Insurance, but basically the card is accepted countrywide. So you will not have issues of you not getting because you have not done this and all that. So for us as the company, we have tried to cut off the bureaucracies, provided you have the card and your ID and you present it to the hospital, you're good to go. But we'll assign somebody to deal with the APB account in the event now you want to engage with us.
Oh, sorry, to that, do we have ambulance services and maybe airlifting? Would that be provided?
You have ambulance services, you have airlifting, that is taken care of, And you also have, in the event somebody is not within a range of an ambulance, maybe an emergency, AMREF is also there to take care of evacuation.
Okay, Tabitha, I don't know whether you're adding any other thing or I should conclude this.
Good afternoon. Please, may I just chip in? My name is Patrick Rokwaro.
Yes, go ahead.
Thank you very much. I want to chip into what Uncle Fred and Auntie Liz have said, and what we have heard from the insurance, and say that probably we need to think as APB to think about a welfare formula. And I'm saying this because I know the insurance, the Benevolent that we are talking about, Uncle Freddy, it will not, like Auntie Elizabeth says, they will take all kinds of tests, and definitely when you get to 50 and above, there are some health issues that normally you definitely have. The same thing, people who have collected their pension, they know how much our elder people suffer outside that, is it called Bima House, where they go to collect their pension. I don't know why this country, we have never learned to respect our elder persons. And so what I would suggest is for the officials, even as we think about insurance, probably we also put into account some kind of welfare where everyone, regardless or despite their age, will be able to draw when the need arises. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much, Patrick Ukwaro, for your contribution. And I think with that, we are 12 minutes late behind time. So I'll wind up that session where we listened to information from Jubilee Insurance by Angela Gachigua. I think it is now my time to hand over to the APB treasurer, who is supposed to make the final remarks, and that is Zipporah Simani. Zipporah, over to you.
Thank you, Catherine. I hope you can hear me all. Good afternoon. Just to recap on that, I think probably, as I've seen from the charts, I think most members have talked about having probably a separate session coming by the insurance. I think the APB officials will work on that and see if we can have a separate session for Benevolent and as well as the medical part. Well, we have come to the closing moments of our inaugural Virtual Association of Professional Broadcasting Conference, that is APB. And I have been given the responsibility to give the closing remarks. And I think everything that should be said or could have been said on this auspicious occasion has been ably stated by the chief guests and our speakers. I am not going to protract what has been said, but allow me on behalf of the association APB to express our deepest appreciation. First of all, I want to give all the glory and honor to our God for enabling us to have come together as professionals in forming this association, APB, and more so making this inaugural conference a success. May His grace bind us together in achieving our goals. Today, we had over 90 broadcast professionals. We had over 90 broadcast professionals, and we really appreciate the professionals who followed the proceedings virtually, locally, and not forgetting others who have been in diaspora. Gratitude and appreciation is extended to our chief guest, Dr. Ezekiel Mutua of the Kenya Film Classification Board, and his support team for accepting to give the keynote address. Your enthusiasm and openness to support and work with the association is not taken for granted. We have also started a journey that will not only bring past broadcasters together, and with such support, we will mentor and guide future broadcasters into being professionals in this noble profession. This conference would not also have been possible without the sponsorship of the Media Council of Kenya, being led by the CEO, David Omoyo. When we did reach out to you, you immediately responded positively and ready to give valuable guidance to the association. We do look forward to you standing with us and also having other sessions that will make the APB a formidable association in Kenya. Well, to all the speakers at this inaugural APB conference, we are deeply indebted to you for the invaluable, eloquent, thought-provoking contributions and the sincerity in which you delivered your comments. We sincerely want to thank Dr. Mbugua Njoroge, Dr. Esther Kingori, not And we just want to thank you for delivering your speeches and even guiding us in your presentations. Even from the questions raised by the veterans, the participants, it is also an indication of the great impression your contributions have imprinted onto our conscience, and we are really, really most grateful. Lastly, and not least, I do recognize and acknowledge all the participants, including our brothers and sisters in the diaspora, for sitting through this first inaugural conference, virtual conference of APB. Your participation is an indication of your willingness to support and own the entire process of having a bumpy road, but collectively responsibility, synergy, and collegiality will enable us forge together as one. The Association of Professional Broadcasters' purpose is to establish a fountain of broadcast excellence and legacy. And just like you have heard from the veterans, they do want to leave a broadcast excellence and legacy. Well, I will end my remarks by citing a quotation by actor Tyler Perry. You can get 1,000 no's from people and only one yes from God, which means that everything is possible if we put God in everything that we do. For the speakers who have been there with us, kindly share your presentations through our group email account, which is info@apbkenya.org. I think Catherine is also in charge of the account. Kindly share with us your presentation. I just want to thank all the members, all the participants for attending. I want to hand over back to Oyer from MCK. Thank you all. God bless you.
Thank you very much, Mama Simani. Nashukuru sana. And thank you to everybody who has attended this inaugural meeting. Madam Chair, for putting it together. And I think unless there's anything else you'd want, Madam Chair, I think perhaps I need to hand over to you, Madam Chair, to officially bring your conference to a close. Madam Chair?
I think we will ask Topista to pray, and we just wind up. We thank everyone. I cannot add anything to what the treasurer has said. She has done a wonderful job. We thank you, and we thank the Almighty God.